Today was the powerful finale of Shane Dawson's look into Jeffree Star's life. And in the video titled The Truth About Jeffree Star, he dives into his past and he talks about his struggles with depression, but more importantly, self-harm. And there's a lot to unpack from this, so make sure that you stay tuned. What is up, everybody? This is Chris from The Rewired Soul, where we talk about the problem, but focus on the solution. And if you are new to my channel is all about mental health. So I try to pull things from different YouTubers or TV shows or movies and see what lessons we can learn when it comes to our mental health, because I'm here to help you out with yours. And I've been following along with Jeffree Star and Shane Dawson's documentary. Fun story, my girlfriend introduced me to Shane Dawson when I first got into YouTube, and then because she loves makeup and all the makeup tutorials online and all the makeup YouTubers, she introduced me to Jeffree Star. So this collaboration was something I was fascinated with. Bet you didn't know that about me. Oh, by the way, I'll link up in the info card. I did a video a while back about me following a makeup tutorial, and I think I came out stunning. But anyways, I've been following this along, and it's been very fascinating to me. It's really inspirational. Like, love, hate, Jeffree Star, whatever your feelings are about him, like, his road to success, like that's inspirational in and of itself, you know? In today's video, they go back to his old apartment where it all started. And by the way, like Shane talked about this, like that apartment was nice. Like, y'all can't see the apartment I'm sitting in right now, but dang, I would love me that apartment. But anyways, Shane finally sits down with Jeffree Star and they sit down and they really dig deep, okay? I didn't know how deep they were going to dig, but they really talked about a lot of emotional stuff. And like, so if you haven't watched it yet, go watch it. There's spoilers in it. But anyways, like Jeffree Star talks about self-harm and everything that came along with it, and his depression and his difficult emotions and all that kind of stuff. And I have a few things that I wanna talk about, because self-harm and mental illness, it's a huge deal, okay? And like, I'm gonna start this video out, like this review, this reaction, if you will, by just pointing out like Shane's reaction. Like Shane's reaction to seeing that Jeffree Star was a cutter.
You're 2 inches away from my arm. Lift up 1 more inch.
Oh my God. Oh my God, Jeffree.
Like, that to me said it all. Like, so Shane has done videos in the past talking about mental health. If any of you know about his little pet project, Bobby Burns have talked about mental health. And like, right here we see, like, people talk about mental health, but you don't really know, do ya? You don't really get it. Like, Shane is just amazed. He's baffled, he's in shock. He's never seen anything about like this. And I'm like, yes, like this is the real stuff. This is what we're talking about. This is what we're talking about when it comes to mental health awareness, this kind of stuff, the stuff that you don't know about. We're not talking about everyday depression. We're not talking about anxiety. Like, we're talking about the real stuff where people are injuring themselves, right? Or living these lives that they just can't deal with. And, you know, I'm about to talk a little bit more about self-harm and the things we can learn, but like, this isn't always suicidal behavior. It's not always just like 0 to 100, okay? There's other little things that are going on, and there's a variety of different mental illnesses. So like, I really hope that throughout this experience, like Shane like really opened up his eyes, and I'm really glad that he's working with BetterHelp now, and like, he's understanding like mental health is more than just being like a depressed YouTuber or depressed celebrity. And I know Shane gets that. Shane has had, you know, mental health issues in the past and stuff like that, but I'm really glad that this opened up the eyes to the audience as well. And you know, another thing is like, that's why I made this channel. I made this channel to not only help people out with their mental health, but to also increase awareness and let you know that there's other stuff going on that we really need to address. So I'm really glad that they touched on it in this last episode. Something that Jeffree mentioned multiple times, and like, I think it's for a reason, and I really hope that this sunk in for you guys, is like Jeffree Star mentioned like, I was walking around in 90-degree weather with full sleeves, like sweaters and jackets, and nobody asked me why. Like, yes, you know? And like, when I see him talking about that, here's what breaks my heart over and over and over again, is when we find out about suicides, or we find out about people cutting, or we find out about their depression, and people are just like, oh, oh my God, I never noticed. But it's like, people just don't know the signs. Like Jeffree's talking about, like, this probably fueled his depression even more, made him feel like nobody cared about him. Like, how come nobody has asked him? How come his mom didn't ask him? How come teachers didn't ask him? How come friends didn't ask him? How come nobody said, hey, Jeffree, why are you wearing that hot outfit in the middle of the summer? So we feel more isolated, we feel more alone. And this happens a lot, like through this video, like we saw what Jeffree Star looked like as a teenager and stuff like that. And there's so many people, like I want you to sit back and ask yourself this question. How many people do you interact with, okay? If you're a teenager, the people at school or people at your office or people on the streets, and they dress a certain way or they look a certain way, and you feel a certain way about them, so you don't talk to them, you don't ask them, because maybe you're afraid of them. Right? Like I want that to sink in for a second, because Jeffree Star has this mass audience of people who love and adore him and care about him, but if they look a certain way, it's not important to ask them about how they're doing, how they're feeling, are they struggling with anything? So I just want you to think about that for a second. So later on, he reveals that one day he was doing the dishes and one of his sleeves rolled up and his mom saw it. And he talks about all the thoughts that rushed through his brain about what his mom was thinking, right? He didn't want his mom to feel bad. He didn't want his mom to feel like she wasn't doing enough. And yes, 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 yes. So as a mental health YouTuber, and I gained, a lot of subscribers and a lot of views from my series on 13 Reasons Why, and this is a show, mainly for young people, and I've had so many young people reaching out to me over the last year. I've even been on YouTube and Instagram and Twitter and all these other things, and they tell me like the same things. Like they don't want to tell their parents about it because they don't want their parents to worry. Right? They don't want their parents to think that they did something wrong. They don't want their parents to think that it's their fault. Like, think about that. Like, that is heartbreaking. And I have these conversations, like, you gotta tell someone, you gotta talk to an adult, you gotta talk to your parents, you gotta talk to a teacher, you gotta talk to a counselor, you gotta talk to somebody about this. But this is to increase awareness for all of you and understand this. Like, if you're a parent out there, like, I've been talking to my son about his mental health since he was like 5 or 6 years old. He meditates with me. We talk about his feelings, his emotions, what he's going through. We walk through this stuff. It's so, so, so important. Like, because although he has 9-year-old problems now, like he's only 9 years old, like when he gets to the point of being a teenager, and he's having relationship issues with friends, with girlfriends, or whatever it is, he's gonna know from a young age already that he can talk to me and open up about this stuff, and there's no judgment coming my way. So I hope this is a lesson to all of you parents or future parents out there, that we need to start talking about mental health as soon as possible so they feel comfortable opening up to us about what they're struggling with, so we can provide them with the help that they need. And this is the first time we've ever seen Jeffree Star open up about this stuff. He talks about why he doesn't let people in and open up about this stuff publicly. And I can only imagine being someone, as famous as he is, but he talks about he has this fear of people using that information against him. He talks about these sick and twisted people who have used his father's suicide as something to harm him with, okay? And like, this is real stuff. And I'm not here to tell you that that's, an irrational fear, because people will do that. But I'm here to tell you right now, screw those people, screw them. Okay? Because something's wrong with them, not with you. And if they're gonna use that to hurt you, that's on them. This is more of a reason why you need to surround yourself with people who love you and care about you and will support you and not judge you for these things. This is why, another reason why we need to increase the conversation about mental health, because it's not something that is to be stigmatized and look down on people at, or use it as something to attack them with. This is something that must be treated the same way that it would be if somebody got any other type of illness. All right, so the only critique I have for this whole video, and it's a very minor one, is that Shane Dawson is coming into his own as an interviewer and interviewing people, and I think he does great, because when he's interviewing somebody, it's like the cameras aren't there. It's like, this isn't going up on YouTube. So my only critique is, if I was Shane, I would say like, what do you want people to know? Like, what would you tell the young Jeffree Star back then? Like, what would you want to tell him? What would you want to tell to your young fans out there? What do you want to tell to my audience out there? Like, this is why I start off every video with, we talk about the problem, but focus on the solution. And they have such an impact. Like, I know a lot of people are gonna be helped just by knowing that somebody can become successful like Jeffree Star, and they can come from that terrible mental space that they were at. I know that helps people, but I just wish there was more of a conversation about getting help. Go out and get help. Now, I will say, I did watch the video, so like, they show some snippets about how Jeffree Star does some motivational stuff, and this might be therapeutic for him, where he goes on Snapchat, he talks to people like, you're not alone, you're never alone, and it might be, those might be the things that he wished he could tell himself when he was younger, and Shane partnering up with BetterHelp and providing resources in the description, that's awesome too. But like I said, it's a very small critique, but I just wish that Shane would have talked a little bit more about the solution and like, what do you want other people to do if they're in the situation that you were in? So as a mental health YouTuber, I also work with BetterHelp online therapy, very affordable. If you watch Shane's video, you know it's awesome. So I'm gonna provide the link to BetterHelp down in the description below, as well as some other resources if you are struggling with your mental health. But again, like, subscribe to my channel. All my videos are mental health related, and I just make these videos to try to help others out there because I'm somebody who struggled with this a lot in the past, all right? But I wanna end this video by saying, you know, even though they're probably never gonna see this, a big thank you to Shane Dawson and Jeffree Star just for talking about this stuff and using their platform to talk about this and increase awareness and decrease the stigma. Like, that is huge, and I really hope that they do more stuff like this. I hope that Jeffree talks about this a little bit more openly and, you know, and is able to help more people and using his platform to help all the people out there struggling with this. But a big, big, big thank you to them. But anyways, that's all I got for you. So if you like this video, please give it a thumbs up. And if you are new here, I'm always making videos to help you out with your mental and emotional well-being. Make sure you click that little round subscribe button. And a huge, huge, huge thank you to everybody supporting the channel over on Patreon to help me spread a message of hope for anybody struggling with mental illness. If you wanna check out some more content on my channel, you can click or tap on one of those thumbnails, all right? Anyways, that's all I got for you today. Stay in the solution, and I'll see you next time.